Welcome to the 2025 Naples International Film Festival here in Naples, Florida. For our viewers at home, tell us a little bit about this great documentary of yours, and then we'll jump right into it.
Do you want to start?
Yes. Remembering Big, the story of Chichi Rodriguez, is about his beginning. It's like a biography film talking about how he started, how he made it to the top, and how he gave back to the people. It's an inspirational story where we can see how hard work pays off.
What about this story captured you? Why did you want to put his story on film? And I'm glad you did, because he's done so much for the community and for society as well.
Well, one of the things I find super inspiring about Chi Chi in general is how he was just very true to himself. Coming from like Latin backgrounds and growing up in places where maybe there's not a lot of Latin people around, seeing somebody that was just so very openly like playful and joking in that Latin style, it's very refreshing. And plus, growing up with like a name that nobody could pronounce. Like there was a joke on WKRP in Cincinnati, I remember when I was a little kid, that they called him Chi Chi Rodriguez. And I remember like connecting with that when I was little, because I was like, nobody can say Mogollon, you know? But
tell me about, scripting this documentary. There's so much to his life, so talk to me about, getting this project together, getting it started. Where did you go to get a lot of your information? Are there archives? Did you go to his family? So talk to me about that process, because the documentary flows so well, and I feel like that I know him a lot better, and I feel like you gave me everything I wanted to know and then some.
Yeah, we use archive. So a lot of archive. We also use animation, because at the beginning of his career there was not a lot of things, video or pictures. So we use those little animations to tell his story. It was a tool that came very, very useful to tell his story. But there is not a lot, but there is an archive of what he did on the course, the news, gas, things like that.
And we were very lucky early on to meet up with a few historians of the game that were able to kind of fill in those, especially like those early blanks, because there's a lot about Chi Chi when he's on the senior tour, but there wasn't a lot of commentary that went deep into his early years on the tour. So we were very fortunate that we had Tony Parker, and then later on the USGA Museum was very helpful.
Let me dive into who he was as a person, because Chi Chi was very true to himself. He didn't try to hide his ethnicity, his poor background. He was he. If you met him on the course, you met him out in public, you got what you got. And talk to me about how important that is today with social media and young people trying to not be themselves, to look at someone like Chi Chi and say, hey, it's okay to be me. It's okay to be who I am, and it's okay that I grew up poor. And he gave back so much. So talk to me about how important that was to really highlight in the documentary, which you did very well.
Yes, that's one of the things that really captured me as a filmmaker. I want to work on this. I want to give everything, because he was I think one of the first who knew his brand. He knew his brand. He knew that he had a way of dressing, a way of playing, a way of showing or doing. He was one of the first one in many things, and the branding and the after celebration. Nobody did that before. He was the first one, so he was very clear, and he wasn't ashamed to be himself. So I think that's a test, for people to know I could be myself, and I could go to the top. So he is an example to the young generation for social media, that you don't need to be different. You can be yourself.
And I think he'd be killing it on social media. If he was coming up now, he would be like the king of social media.
I think so too.
Yeah, absolutely, because he loved connecting with his audience. So he would be the one like responding to like messages and he would be all over.
He knew he was there to entertain. Like he was very clear about that. I am an athlete, but people are paying good money. I'm gonna put up a show. This is the way it is.
What I really also too loved about the documentary, that you spotlighted his honest sportsmanship. He gave back as a golfer and as a sportsman. So talk to me how important that was to feature that in the documentary too, because he not only gave back to the young people, but he gave back to his own community. And that's one of the things I really admired about him.
Somebody asked that in the Q&A, and it was actually something that I forgot at the moment, but one of the stories that was on the cutting room floor was Chi Chi talking about how they grew up quite poor in Puerto Rico, and he said that a neighbor had come to steal and actually stole something from their yard, and instead of doing something, his father said, they have less than us, let them have it. And this was coming from a family that had, 7, 8 children with no shoes, that was very poor. And his family recognized that even though we're poor, there's somebody worse off than us. Let them, whatever they need. And I feel like those lessons was something that was very ingrained in Chi Chi. And if he had the opportunity to give to anybody, he did it. And I feel like that was a very honest thing about it. Like, that wasn't like a put on effect that he did for the media. That was true to him.
His true identity was giving back. When he met Mother Teresa, that's when he actually understood, this is my purpose. This is the purpose of me being here. I came to the top of the sport because I can help people like me or people in another situation. So he dedicated himself to give back. And when he received the Medal of Honor, that was the highest thing. He was so happy. He was like, this is means more than anything else that I have ever won, because this is for my deeds. So it was very, very important for him to give back.
He was at his height in the 80s and 90s, and I think that he really showed the younger athletes, hey, you need to give back. You need to give back to the youth, give back to your own community. You need to give back to home. And I think that was just really important, and you really showcased that really well. When was that aha moment? Was it during filming? Was it during editing that you knew you had this story, that you're ready to take this story out to the world?
I think it was during filming. And it was one of the final things that we filmed, and we were lucky enough to connect with the USGA Museum. And we went out there, and I think it was just being there, that's when I felt like we really had it, because it kind of connected the final dots for us. Like, we knew the story, but it felt like something was missing until we went there. And yeah.
You're here at the Naples International Film Festival in Southern Florida, in Naples, Florida. We have golf courses all over the place. We have people who personally knew Chi Chi. What does it mean to be here at this film festival and screening it for the audiences here in South Florida?
I'm a little bit emotional because to see the love, the reaction of the people for the film, and they saying to us, thank you for doing this, to put it together. Now I know Chi Chi more. He's my hero now. Things like that really have touched my heart. So this is like the perfect place, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I didn't know that I was gonna get so many people so emotional, so happy, and so thankful. And they knew Chi. Some of them, they have stories. Like the lady here, she was like, my father, I met Chi Chi when I was a little girl. So that's amazing. So this is like a gift to him and to us.
Yeah. And similarly, it's a reminder that the things that he was always very true. Like, what you see is what you always got. And to hear the people that had met him and they say, yeah, we had that super positive experience with him, it's important. Or people that just know golf and how difficult it is to get into the game of golf and can respect. As
a senior.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things we kind of forget about, that he was a senior golf player.
Exactly.
What's next for the film? Where's it going to go after here?
Well, we have a couple of screenings coming up in New York. After that, we're planning a few other independent screenings around, the Northeast, and then we're hoping to find it a home.
Yes.
Where can we follow your successes? What are your websites and social handles?
remember it big. Instagram, right there. You can find us anytime.
Remembering Big Film.
Oh yes, yeah, but it's dog.
Oh yes.
But you can go there. You're gonna see us, and we're following Naples. Everybody.
Thank you so much for joining us.